Woo! Hey, good morning, guys. Morning. Uncle Craig here on the Bon Knock. And it's another bright and sunshiny day. Maybe too much? I don't know, man. That's pretty bright. What are you guys up to? I did some blowing with my new blower, remember? I think I showed you this beast, right? And it's a vacuum as well as a blower, so you can blow everything in one direction and then put the bag on there, scoop it up. And I over here in my wife's little flower power, I dumped the leaves because the leaves get shredded and turn into a nice little mulch here automatically from the bag catcher. That's pretty cool. But just kind of lazing around today. Tomorrow I think the boys are coming over for to render the shop house over here. Took delivery on the fine sand this morning. I think it was like 500 baht or something for a couple cubic yards. This is the soft sand, you know, fine grain, in contrast to the construction sand, which is a much coarser grain. And then of course I got all my plaster cement in here. These are blue bags, man. Your blue bags are for rendering, for plastering. And remember, your red bags are for the concrete floors, and of course the green bags are for everything else in between, like in between the bricks and stuff. But one step closer. I like it. The guy came and sorted out the door in the back. Once we get done with the rendering and all that, he'll come out and put that door in. It says like 6,000 baht or 6,500. One of the other things, I think I showed you this baby right here, right? Yesterday was our neighbor on this side, which is another uncle. He has 8 rai, just like this piece of land, although he's splitting it now into 3, you know, long sections of land for his 2 kids and himself. But he had to have the land surveyors come out and do that. And before, when I had looked for, you know, land survey markers, like these use cement posts or a cement round pole or something like that, there's nothing out there. Mostly because farming on the backside has probably dug it up and moved it without noticing. And on the front side, they built that drainage canal a few years back, and they would have wound up taking that thing out also. But the land guy's office has, you know, knows like about where it should be, because they say, oh, you know, you're gonna light post there and it's a couple meters south of the light post, blah blah blah. Anyway, they put the new one in there for his land, which is basically the corner of our land here too. So, or Dot's family land. It's not really my land. But I was interested to know, from that post heading this way, it should be 80 meters. If this is 8 rai and it's 2 rai wide, a rai is 40 meters wide and 40 square, or it's actually just 40 square, I should say. But anyway, yeah, 40 meters wide. So from that pole moving this way, 80 meters should mark out the other side boundary. But looking at it, I'm going to say that it's much more than that. So that's kind of weird. as well as his was actually, I think it was longer than it should be, and or than it was. So it was like 8 rye and 1.59 or whatever. And this one, I think I'm almost standing at about 4 rye coming back here. So I think this patch of land that we have here is much bigger than 8 rye. So what I thought I'd do is I'd take my wheel, which gives me our digital distance at meters, and go up to the front and check that out. I'm gonna take it out on my scooter. Think I can do this while I'm holding my camera? Nah, I don't know. Let me get back at you on that one. I'll get up there. Alrighty. Well, we walk out here. Although I'm gonna measure it on the road. But here, take a look. So this drainage they put in there a few years back. It was a normal canal, but then they formalized it. Basically, I bush cut a bunch of this down yesterday to make it easier to walk. Well, yeah, so here it is. This is the actual marker that they put in place. They put this marker in there. It's actually got the stamp, of the government or whatever. This is for added purpose, but I think this is actually from the, from the uncle. Make it clear. And then it goes straight back. You can almost see that one standing back there. So that's a straight line. So if I take that straight line, basically I'm gonna walk out this way to the road, because I cut this grass. And if I stand, well, it looks like it's right about on that tree. And then I'll come over here. I can flip this and zero it out. Man, the traffic close. Let me get that real zero. That's 10. That's 20 right there. That's 30. That's 32. And that's actually almost right in the middle. So right there is 40, which is clearly more than halfway. So we'll go to 80. I don't know if we need to get the land surveyor out to do the posts for this piece of land. Boom, that's 80 right there. And you can see with 80, that's dang near in the middle of the other uncle's land. So, I wonder if I should mark that. Oh. pretty trippy. I mean, if it's, you know, I don't know, maybe 8 rye, just kind of an about thing. Actually, well, probably not, because his is supposed to be 8 rye, and it's just a little over. It's like 8 point, you know, or 8.12 or 1.5, I think you said. And if you mark from the road, right? Let me do this, zero this out. If I go from the road and I go back, and they actually measured it from that marker. So it's not, you know, it's not from the road, but I'm measuring here from the road. Wait a minute, let's see, make sure my camera's still on. I don't want to turn off from the heat. Now, whoa, walking with this, if it's 40 wide, for one ride basically, and 40 deep, then 4 rye back should be 160, right? 160 meters straight back. And if memory serves me, 160 meters stops well before the garden, which would mean that all that extra distance, that half of rye going that way, is maybe reconverted into the longer piece here. But I don't know. It's weird because his land is, well, his land came out to be 8 rye, a little over 8 rye, but I don't know that it was actually 2 rye wide. I should probably measure his to see if it's 2 rye wide. And if you look here, that's showing 160, and that is right here. So basically, I just measured going across about to the middle of his land over there, the uncle's, and then right here is the corner of 160. So now I'm going to continue to see how far back this goes. What are you barking at, dog? It's me. Trying to keep it straight. Whoa, gotta go in the bushes. And they use a string. I don't think they don't use a wheel. Well, then they use a sextant or a, you know. So to the canal, it's like 202 to the canal. Let's call it 200. So that's an extra, let's see, 60. That's an extra rye right there. I think either way you do it, if that, what did I say that was? I said that was, I'll have to look on the camera, but the when I went halfway in there, was it 80? I don't remember what it measured at. Phew. But if it's a half, so if it's 20, let's say it's 20 meters, right? Half of that next rye. But then you take it all the way back, so you're going to go 20, 20, 20, 20. That's going to be 80. So 80 is actually 2 rye. Now, going back this way, there's an extra 40, which is just an extra 1 rye. I'm thinking this all out right now, doing the math in my head. So if we take this 1 extra rye off the back, I mean, if we say we're adding an extra rye this way because we're gonna take it off of this way, then you would only take 40 rye out of that 80, which would mean that instead of 20, of course I'm guessing on the 20, I forget, like I said, what it was from where I stopped at R80. So then I would only, it would only encroach 10 meters into the uncle on that side. So either way, if truly the family land here is supposed to be 8 rye and only 8 rye, then and we take it all the way back to the river, then it goes into the uncle's land that way. So in this case, I don't know, if it's not into the uncle's land, then I don't see how this can be 8 rye. Although, you know, as they noted, it's always been 8 rye or whatever, you know. Let's see if I can. So I don't know. Dot, she don't care. She's like, nah, that's 8 rye, blah, 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 blah. And if the true lines are actually halfway into, you know, or a good portion of the way into the uncle's land on that side, and he has 8 rye, that means his land is probably that way also into the next guy's land, which is another uncle. But it's all family, so we ain't worried about it. But you know, if one of the uncle on that side had already passed away, and his wife, which is not blood, right? Her nephews or whatever, or nephews, you know, using the land. If somehow, and the mom has her own thing going on, the wife, the widow, and if she decides, you know what, let them sell it, and they sell that land, then, you know, we're definitely going to have to do some marking, because you don't want them selling part of your land, right? Especially if there's a whole big old section that's part of your land. So anyway, we'll have to get back on that more later. But yeah, that's it for here on the Bondoc, on the family land and the plan. It's still pretty cool though. I'll probably be long dead before it's worked out, but yeah. All right, man. Thanks for watching. Keep watching. We'll get back at you.